Management of multiple sclerosis. This includes four different strands. So, first is treatment of the acute episode. Whenever there is an acute episode, we have to treat that acute episode. And next thing is prevention of future relapses. We have to prevent further occurrence of relapses, and whatever the complications of multiple sclerosis, we have to treat this, and also we have to manage patient's disability. So management includes four different strands. One is treatment of the acute episode. We have to prevent future relapses as well as treatment of complications associated with the disease, and we have to manage the patient's disability. Acute episode of multiple sclerosis. So, how to treat an acute exacerbation? Because relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis is most common, so it is seen in greater than 90% of the patients. So relapses are more common, that is acute episodes are more common. So how to treat an acute episode of multiple sclerosis? One is giving high doses of glucocorticoids. So we are giving high doses and pulses of high dose glucocorticoids. So these are either given intravenously or orally over 3 to 5 days. So we give intravenous administration of glucocorticoids, and depending on the severity we can also give oral corticosteroids, generally for 3 to 5 days. So what happens if we give corticosteroids? They will shorten the duration of the acute episode. So if acute episode lasts for 7 days or few months, then this administration of glucocorticoids, this shortens the duration of the acute episode. And prolonged administration of glucocorticoids, it doesn't alter the long-term outcome. So we should not give prolonged glucocorticoids because this is not going to alter any outcome. And if we give prolonged glucocorticoids, then as you know, glucocorticoids has got many side effects, and therefore they should be avoided. So these pulses of glucocorticoids, they can be given up to 3 times in a year, but this use should be restricted to those individuals with significant function threatening deficits. So pulses of glucocorticoids can be given, and these pulses can be given up to 3 times in a year. And these glucocorticoids, because they cause more side effects, their use should be restricted to those individuals with more function threatening deficits. And there are certain prophylaxis to prevent glucocorticoid induced osteoporosis. So if patients are frequently taking glucocorticoids, then we have to give prophylaxis to prevent glucocorticoid induced osteoporosis. Either it can be calcium or it can be bisphosphonates, which are used to prevent glucocorticoid induced osteoporosis. Next comes disease modifying agents for the treatment of multiple sclerosis. Previously in 1990s, there were no effective drugs to treat multiple sclerosis, but introduction of newer drugs like beta interferons and glatiramer acetate. So this is a new and exciting era of disease modifying treatment, and this is still evolving. In 1990s, azathioprine was used, but it is not used now because we have many newer drugs. So what are these drugs which are used in multiple sclerosis? Nothing but beta interferons and glatiramer acetate. So what is the use of these drugs? So we have to reduce the annual relapse rates, because in relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis, relapse rate will be more. So we have to reduce the annual relapse rate, and we also have to reduce the number, because as the disease progresses, there will be many new lesions on MRI, and so we have to reduce the number as well as the size of the lesions on the MRI, and some of these drugs may also reduce the disability. So newer drugs like beta interferons, glatiramer acetate, they have paved the way for a new and exciting era of disease modifying therapies. So all of these reduce annual relapse rates and the number and size of the lesions on MRI, and some also might reduce the disability, and these are not indicated for the treatment of early or preclinical multiple sclerosis. So these drugs, they are not indicated for treatment of early or preclinical before multiple sclerosis manifests. So in those situations, these drugs are not used. Many drugs are used in the treatment of multiple sclerosis. So these drugs are either given as orally or they're available orally as well as regular subcutaneous injections or also as pulsed intravenous treatment. So these are divided into two groups. There are certain these drugs they have moderate efficacy. They are divided into two groups. Okay, one is moderate efficacy for less severe cases. So relapse rate reduction will be 30 to 50%, and other group is high efficacy for severe cases. So one group of drugs are used for less severe cases, and other groups of drugs are used for severe cases. So in moderate efficacy in less severe cases, so their average relapse rate reduction will be 30 to 50%. But certain drugs which are used for severe cases, their average relapse rate reduction will be greater than 50%. So what are the different drugs having moderate efficacy for less severe cases? So these includes interferon beta, glatiramer acetate, teriflunomide, dimethyl fumarate, and fingolimod. So interferon beta. Next is glatiramer acetate. Next is teriflunomide. Other thing is dimethyl fumarate, and other thing is fingolimod. Interferon beta. So this is given alternate days or weekly. It is given either as intramuscular or subcutaneous injection. Interferon beta, alternate day or weekly intramuscular or subcutaneous injection. So this is used for reducing the relapse rate. And other drug is glatiramer acetate. It is given as subcutaneous injection. This is similar efficacy to interferon beta. Interferon beta and glatiramer acetate are generally given by subcutaneous route. So they are used for reducing the relapse rate. And the other oral drugs which are available in moderate efficacy cases are teriflunomide, dimethyl fumarate, and fingolimod. So teriflunomide, dimethyl fumarate, and fingolimod, these are used orally. So what are the side effects of this teriflunomide? They cause diarrhea, alopecia, hepatotoxicity, and these drugs are highly teratogenic. Dimethyl fumarate, and this cause flushing and gastrointestinal disturbance. Okay, and other drug is fingolimod. So fingolimod, it causes cardiac conduction defects, especially with first dose.